Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Temasek Poly. We are here for Olympic Esports Week, and today here with us we have Jeng, otherwise known as NutZ, who is an ex-DOTA 2 professional gamer with total competition earnings of over 300,000 Singapore dollars. He's also shoutcasted for pro tournaments and he's currently coaching as well. Currently he's working for SCOGA on the Esports Academy. So we're very, very honored to have him here with us to share his thoughts, and we're just going to chat with him a little bit. Just to introduce myself, my name is Ilham, and how are you doing today, NutZ?
Hello everyone, so NutZ here, doing great.
Yeah. Good. Now, just to start off, because I'm very curious, how did the name NutZ come about?
Right, so it's one of those when you're young, you want to create something funky. Okay. Initially it was called War NutZ, in fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a war in front.
I think W-A-R.
W-A-R, yes.
Nice.
Because I was playing a lot of Warcraft 3.
Ah, okay.
It's an RTS game, and
yes.
I was crazy about it. Each day I would spend like countless hours after school before doing my homework. I'll be rushing to play Warcraft 3. So, and then I got inspired by, it's just like, I saw this word, War NutZ, the nuts. And I thought just would play around with it. And then it became War NutZ, and then across time I just removed the war and just simplify it as NutZ, and that's how it came about. It's pretty
cool.
Yeah.
So Warcraft 3 came out, I think, 2000, the early 2000s, right?
I guess, yeah.
The early 2000s. Was that when you started competing, like, going into esports? Maybe you want to share with us a little bit of your esports, right? Like, how do you get started into esports?
Right, so initially when any other teenagers out there, so you're young, you're 14, you're 15, you just play games that are out there that's popular. So friends introduced me to the game, played with some other friends, and then I realized I got slightly better than them, and then started joining tournaments.
Slightly better or a lot better?
Slightly better. You don't know where you actually are.
Okay.
You go and try out further and further, and then you start competing. Not that bad. You got a pretty decent result.
Nice.
And then started going for more.
A lot of people say slightly better, but the idea of slightly is you win every match for one whole year, then you realize that can I lose? Like
not that drastic, but like there's leaderboard in the game. There's ranking, and we're grinding a lot, and your rank is pretty high. So we thought, let's give it a try. There are like local tournaments, there's community tournaments. So that's usually where you start off first.
Those days was in Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 3, yes.
I see. So you've been competing for how long did have you been competing for that?
So I guess I'm in my 30s now. Okay. So I would say I started competing maybe around, probably competing. I think it will start off like 16, 17.
Wow, so that's about 14 years.
Yeah, but different game titles.
Yeah. Okay. Because this year, like the main game that you're professionally playing in is Dota 2, right?
Yeah, Dota and Dota 2, yes.
Okay, cool. So you've essentially gone through different stages of esports since the early days to now how esports is like, and you're still in the industry, right?
Yes, I'm still in the industry, but as a different position now.
So can you give us an idea of maybe how it was for you back then, the lifestyle of an esports athlete, and how, because now you're still in the industry, how things have changed for athletes of today?
Right, so during my younger years, I would say, like, let's say back to when I was still studying, it's just merely a hobby. So we're just interested in competing, we're just very keen about the game, we'll just play a lot of it. We don't really care about whether you are earning from this or not. So you can be playing for tournaments for, let's say, just $100 prize pool.
#passion.
Yes, #passion, yeah. I think the difference now here is that you no longer have that much of that sort of things now. People are playing for the money, and you don't have like a salary. I'm not playing for the organization. I would say that's the biggest difference here is that. So
okay. Maybe how it felt like to win, the feeling of winning back then, or losing. You're talking about some major experiences that you have, right? But let's. It's graduation week for Temasek Poly. Congratulations to everyone who's graduating, by the way. Woo! Okay, yeah, give us a round of applause. Yeah. Okay, and so the whole idea of winning, like maybe talk us through the emotions that you feel when you win an important match, and do you have a cool down period, or you step back into like game mode, like train for the next tournament? What goes through your mind when you go through a very, very positive experience like that?
Right, so you mentioned about both winning and losing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about the losing experience. Just kidding.
Oh, I like confidence. I don't know how it feels to lose, you know.
Yeah, so winning. Maybe I'll give an example of what I've been through for winning. There was this episode where the aim, usually we have an aim, we have a goal in mind and what we're going to achieve. So back then in local situation, it was for this tournament called WCG, World Cyber Games.
Okay.
So back then, winning that title in Singapore, local-wise, it's everything for my team, for me, myself. Yeah, so right after winning, what was the experience like? You feel the adrenaline, you feel the rush, you feel like things were great, you're like the best, nothing can stop you. Yeah, it's just the best feeling you have. But that didn't last that long.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I would say like the next day itself, I felt like, so what now?
So within 24 hours.
Within 24
I
hours.
love the determination of these gentlemen.
That's how you reach all the way to the top. The amount of years you've been grinding through,
Yeah.
and then suddenly it falls down straight to like, what do I do next? What do I want? So I've achieved this. What now? Is there something I really wanted or not? Of course, I gave myself a period, and then it felt you try to set new goals after that. You want to go international. You want to start competing against the better players.
So is that you climb one mountain and then you realize that there's a higher mountain. There's this Chinese saying, right? Yeah, I believe.
Which one was it?
Man has climbed many mountains, and then like running out of mountains already.
一山还比一山高.
Yeah, correct. So you played for professional organizations,
Yes.
and also like versus playing or coaching for your country, and maybe share with us the differences, if any, maybe the stress or maybe the pressures and the expectations that you have from an organizational standpoint and from a national country standpoint.
Right, so I think different country, we have different characteristics like self. I feel like, okay, let's talk about the Singaporean players first. I coach Singaporean players. I coach our team Singapore for the girls division for Dota 2 last year. Okay, let's talk about our local players first. I feel like we are a talented bunch. We are people who think a lot, we analyze a lot,
Nice.
much more compared to our neighboring countries, I feel. But the thing is that we do not have that much of a conviction, I feel.
Okay.
Like we want something, but we don't want to put in the hard work. We work smart, but not work hard.
Do you think that's just within esports, or do you think it's a generation thing? Or?
Since I'm usually spending my time on esports related stuff, I'll say more towards esports. Yeah. So other industry, let's not comment about it for my side. Yeah, so that's the perks. I mean the pros and cons of our players, I feel. Compared to, let's say, I work with like Koreans, I work with Mongolians. I've coached them before, and they give me a different set of fights. They are more willing to grind again. Yeah, they're willing to spend a lot of time just getting top ranks, making sure that they have the numbers up there. And they're just more willing to do that compared to us. They might not spend as much time analyzing the game, but they are willing to spend a lot of time just getting the levels out there. Yeah,
so it's the grind, the hustle.
Yes, I think both way works, but the best is of course that you want to merge both of that up together.
There's that balance that you need to achieve, right?
And having both itself is actually crazy amount of time.
That's true.
The thinking part and the execution part.
That's true.
If you have one part that's more, it tends to be lacking. It's not balanced. And we have like 24 hours each day, so
yeah. 24 hours has not changed from 20 years ago till now, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but then again, you talk about time, right? Do you think that the world last time was simpler in the sense that there wasn't as much to do? And maybe now as gamers, we've got a lot of things there's a lot of things to watch. There's like YouTube, there's like different videos, there's different guides. That attention is being spread thin, and that's why maybe in terms of conviction or we don't see that razor sharp focus that maybe gamers of last time probably had. Do you think it's just because it's the world now, or yeah?
Yes, I would say more or less to that. Because nowadays I feel it much easier to grasp an idea. Let's say there's a certain concept out there. 1 or 2 days, like you have a hidden strategy. The next day it's out there in Reddit, it's in YouTube, it's in Twitch, whatsoever. Information is spread out pretty fast. Yeah. Compared to, let's say, 10-15 years ago. You do keep strategies for tournaments. So like you expect like no one will know exactly what's happening. There's not much of things you can exploit if you don't figure it out yourself. But in today's era, it's pretty easy to get information out there. The next day you get something, you just train on it, you just practice on that strategy or other. You get it pretty fast. So information is too easy to access now, which helps growing much easier compared to before. The way of learning things is different now.
So that's something that I sometimes ponder about, because information is so fast, it's easy, and it's probably free because YouTube videos are out there, resources are plentiful, right? So how do you think that has changed, like gaming and the world of esports as compared to when you were competing back then? Because there was no YouTube, probably, right? Yeah.
So I think YouTube and Twitch, I think it helps promote esports quite. It's a lot better than before.
Okay.
Last time, certain tournaments are happening and no one is aware of it. And nowadays they're like streaming and all. So you don't have to leave your house. You'll be just watching content out there. So it's much more easier to spread the information and spread your tournament out across.
I see. Cool. Since we're talking about the past and everything, maybe share some any other key experiences that you have on your time as an esports player before we move on to how you shifted from a player to what you're currently doing now. Any memorable experiences that you want to share that they are learning points or just things, iconic memories that you want to share with the audience and the people around.
Iconic memories. To me, is the one that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, WCG.
WCG is one.
Okay.
And for me, it's always is two. WCG and TI experience. TI is the international.
Yes.
It's the biggest esports tournament, I would say. It's like crazy amount of money out there. So just one experience itself when I was at TI. So I was thinking, when I stepped into the stadium, I just felt the whole arena. I thought, yes, this is the place I want to be. Hopefully every year I'm here, competing. Yeah, so that's the vibe I wanted. I feel like I'm soaking in the energy from there. It felt really great. So yeah, that's one of the experiences I really enjoyed.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you were competing in WCG,
right.
Comparing WCG to the scale of TI, which is it's a very very different scale right now, right? Like it's a lot bigger. Did you ever think that the scale of esports would reach such heights? Do you think it was something that will eventually happen, or do you think it will wow? What do you think back,
Honestly, no. I'll say yes, it will become bigger, but how big it is, how huge or how gigantic it is, I have no idea how much it will reach. Until Valve introduced this 1 million Dota 2 tournament, I think that's where it kickstart the high price pool tournament around the world for esports.
I see.
Yes.
Cool. So, from a player, you made the eventual shift from competing to coaching, and now you're working on esports. Maybe share with us what led you to making this decision?
Alright, so I think there's should I call it expiry date? So, okay,
Men don't have expiry date, we age like fine wine, I'm just kidding.
right. I'm sure it's pretty similar to sports. So, there's a few factors. One is yourself, and one is external. I'll talk about the self one first. I think you do reach a certain age where you start thinking that there's a lot more other things that you can be doing around you, and there's a lot more responsibility coming in soon. So you progress on and you start thinking that is it both spending so much time and spending my whole youth period focusing on one item, one title itself, I'll say. Yeah, so spending a lot of time on it, and across time you'll just measure whether it is worthy or not. I think that was a good experience for me overall. But you get kind of worn out in a bit too. And of course, like young players are coming out, they have the reflexes, they have like everything they learn is so fast, so quick. They don't have to spend so much time on it, and they will still be doing great. Compared to you, let's say they can learn things in 1 hour, or you have to practice it over 5 hours to get what they are doing. So across time, you feel like you are losing out in that sense. But of course, the experience that an older player can provide to a team is invaluable. I'll say that whenever you create a team, right? For Dota, it's a high versus high.
Yeah.
So you want like having experienced players and those who can do flashy plays, the younger players who desire the passion to go really far. That's my own take on individual wise. So, and also from the outside perspective, let's say sponsors, organization, or I do feel like they will look more into getting the younger players because they have a longer span. Like they have like 3 years and 5 years. they will be fighting for the tier 1 spots. So I think from that view itself, they will be keen in getting younger players. So adding those factors up together, I think it does affect your decision to moving forward to the next step. How I can help younger players push further, and that kind of gave me the direction to go into educational stuff and coaching stuff inside esports for the younger generation to come up with.
That's really insightful, and something that you mentioned, experience.
Yes.
Right? Because that is something that a lot of younger players definitely don't have, because you've been in the industry for very long, right? So in terms of experience, let's just talk a little bit about the experience portion. What exactly in the experience you feel that you can impart to these younger players? You think it's the dealing with the emotions portion, or
be it mentally or in the game, outside the game, I think it's pretty important. So let's say, I would say, some personal experience I had with the last team I had was a reality wave. It's a team that consists of older players like me, almost in our 30s back then, and we had younger players who were in early 20s, 19, 20 years old.
I'm going to stop you there. I've always been curious. When we mentioned younger players, is there in a world of esports, at least Dota, is there a prime age for when you regard like this is the best age for you to be competing, like a universal standard sort of thing, or?
It's not stated out there, but my own take would be around 22 to 24, around that period. So you have a bit, you're close to that age? Almost
22, 25, so happy. 30s really.
Okay,
yeah,
so because if you are too young, I think you are too lacking experience, so you might act impulsively in games.
Okay.
You will just dive in, do actions that you don't think much of the consequences about.
So there is a too young.
Yeah, I do think so.
I see.
Mechanically, you can be really skilled. You can execute the moves in really flashy fashions and all, but you don't think too much about what happens after. So you don't think about the whole picture of the game.
I see.
Yeah. So and the reason for me saying like maybe 22, 24 is a good age is because like you have experienced, like let's say you come out at 17, 18 years old, you probably experience like the 2-3 years of tournament. You have the tournament experience. You have certain degree of understanding of the game. So by 22, 24, you could probably have a balance of that. A bit of experience, you have the skills, and you're still pretty quick in the game. Sharp thinking,
Yeah, when you mentioned flashy plays, right, and in a world where currently gaming, esports is so prevalent, where you can stream, there are videos, right. You see a lot of flashy plays, and sometimes do you think that players purposely want to make flashy plays to like show, because they're younger, they haven't gone, the egos are firing, the egos are firing. And I'm saying this not because I've never done it before. I used to do it because I don't play Dota, so I play other games. And I find that when I was younger, I tend to like, want to show, want to impress, when I want to show my ex-girlfriend, not my wife, want to impress her, I'm really like making like flashy plays, just to impress one person. And now when I want to impress, like I'm thinking if I'm like creating content, if I'm on a world stage, and I want to like get cheers from the crowd, I'm pretty sure moments like this do happen. I see. That's really cool.
I think it's pretty similar. Like let's say you have to practice a dance move, you have to impress a certain girl.
Yeah.
You probably do the same thing. You practice, you look cool in front of her.
Correct.
So the cool is equivalent to the flashy, I would say.
Yeah, but it may not be the most effective play, right?
But during that age, you will be thinking that that's the thing I want to do the most. But like what you say, yes, it might not be the most effective play in a team environment.
Yes. Yeah, because Dota 2 is a team game.
Yes,
what you do, affects 4 other players.
Every single move actually affects the team performance.
Right. Okay, so in terms in 2023, maybe you can share with us how your personal priorities have changed as an individual over the years, making the shift from player, coach, to working in the Esports Academy. Yeah, maybe share with us.
Okay, so back then, of course, let's continue from what they have said. We tend to be the one that's a superstar, you want to be the limelight.
Okay.
So that progress on. The next thing you want to do is how to lead a team. How to lead a team to be a championship team, right?
Yeah.
So and it progress on like how can I help a team to be a championship team? So it's like you see from the progression. Superstar to leading a team to helping the team from the outside be the championship team. Yeah, so that's the progression of how things are. And like I mentioned earlier, it's more towards the educational part of things now, where actually mentality is very important in any competitive game, I would say. So yeah, one example I can give is when I was with this reality wave, just now I was talking about it halfway. I realized that certain players take losses or wins very differently. Some are very high, some are like very down, like they cannot even do anything after it. After they cannot eat. Just like the loss is everything. I cannot take it inside. So that's when we actually step in and help them with how to curb all these losses. At times we will like take walk outside the park and I'll just tell them it's just one loss. We learn from this. We don't just stop here. It's not everything. There's still a long journey ahead for you. Maybe not for me, but for you it's still very long. Things like this. So I think those are very important factors that we can bring in as experienced players, helping out newer coming players who doesn't know how to cope with all this.
I see. Wow.
Stuff,
Yeah. You got to really read into the minds and you got to really take care of the players that you're coaching and everything, right? Now, when you're coaching, as a coach, you meet a lot of younger players, and you can't help but think like, I was once in there. And that's probably a line that you probably say more often than not. I was once in the shoes, I was once in the shoes.
I actually don't quite say that. Because
really? Wow.
I think from that perspective, like let's say, it's going to be quite annoying for them.
That's true.
So it's like your dad telling you the same thing. You'll be annoyed, like, and he's saying that again, like, whatever, he doesn't understand me. When we're young, they tend to feel that way. So I try not to use things that I feel that they will feel boring or like...
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, fair. Very fair opinion. Is there anything you would say to your younger self? Now, let's say if you're coaching yourself now, you get a mirror, a younger NutZ, at the age of 18. What would you say to them?
At this moment, I can't really think of anything like that because like the things I've been through are experiences that is kind of invaluable.
Okay.
And because of going through all this, and then you will understand a lot more and you can bring back to the past. But if I were to go back at 18 years old, the ego is going to be higher.
Yeah.
I would still want to be that superstar, I think. Yeah, so...
Probably like you can say what you want to say, but whether I want to listen or...
Yes.
Right.
And being a coach, from a coach perspective, you do understand that. So you have to tell them certain things in a certain way that they can accept.
Yeah.
You know you're going to say a chunk of things, what's better, what's good for you.
Yeah.
But you know they only take in a certain percentage of it, not all. Yeah.
At times it's better to let them experience for themselves and be there when they need.
Yeah, so there's times you actually let them hit the wall, hit the fence, and just let it be, and then you come in afterwards. Yeah, you can tell them ahead, this is going to happen. It's up to you whether you do it. They go and do it, let them have the freedom to execute, and then after that, come in and help them.
That's true. That's a very, very valid, very high value opinion that I feel that we all can learn, not just in esports but in life as well. In life as well.
It's transferable.
It's very, very transferable. Now, talking about life, other than esports, any other industries that you've gained experiences from, maybe in other jobs, or have you always been in esports in the gaming industry, or do you sidetrack to like pick up different projects of different industries?
Mostly, I would say I've been throughout. Yeah, it's mostly esports, but sometimes I'm doing like running quite a bit.
Okay.
So I do that. I do use the running experience to bring over to sports and esports.
Any particular nuggets of advice that you can draw from running that you feel you can share, that you have shared to your team members?
Okay, so one thing off my head right now is just people think that it's really easy to reach a certain point. It's on the outside. This guy can run really fast. This guy can run really far. Same goes to like this guy is playing at tournament just because he's talented. But actually it's not. I think there's crazy amount of hard work that is behind the scenes that people don't see. So yeah, because I started running like I think a few years ago, and I realized that wow, these people can run so fast only because that he's been doing that for many years. He's been studying about it. There's a sports science behind, and that's very important. He or she actually puts in a lot of time into it. Same goes to esports. I think we don't see when people are practicing. We only see them when they are on the stage. They are winning the championship, they are lifting the trophy. I think that's something that we don't see much.
Cool. Right. To switch things up a bit, on a more light-hearted note, maybe you share with us now in your work, what is your current day like?
That's my current day like.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm working in SCOGA under Esports Academy.
Okay.
So we're actually engaging a lot of we're using games to teach values or to teach like let's say soft skills to I'll say everyone, because nowadays we're doing from kids as young as maybe 8 to 9 years old all the way to 70 years old.
Wow.
So we have program for like kids 9 to 14, and then we do it with like Polytechnics, we do it with like secondary schools, and we even recently we started doing with seniors. So engaging them, okay, for seniors wise, we are engaging them with like activities to keep them active in the mind at least.
Okay.
Because from now we really know like let's say golf, mahjong, those are like good tools, right? To keep them active, keep them fit.
Yes.
So we do programs like let's say Ring Fit itself.
Okay.
We even have like CSGO events for elderlies.
Wow.
It's not easy to pick up for them because let's say WASD for them.
Yeah, it doesn't come across as natural.
Yes, for us, for youngsters, I think it's very natural. It takes a few minutes to master it.
Yeah.
But for the elderly, you have to teach them slowly what's left, what's right, how to move around. Yeah, the cycle photo, I say left hand, right hand, keyboards and mouse together. So it's a different perspective, and we are creating courses for different levels. For the secondary and let's say IT or Polytechnic students, tertiary ones, we'll try to put in more soft skills related topics into it. So not only just being mechanically good in the game itself, we want them to learn about how, let's say, certain soft skills, adaptability, teamwork, communication, leadership, want to put them into the game itself and how to make use of it. Because these skills are actually transferable in life. So those are the things that we have been doing. And these are the courses that I've been coming out with my colleagues to everyone out there. Yes.
That's really, really great because then the soft skills are imparted to the younger generation. The older generation, the seniors as you mentioned, I would say a bit more aware of what games are like, like the world of gaming, Can you imagine my mom and dad like sitting down and playing an iPad, this is why I play, this is why I shoot people.
Yeah, it opens up that perspective for them about what actually my grandkids and kids are playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do get feedbacks and we do like, I hear some comments, that's what they're playing. It can be, so they actually, you can connect with them. So imagine a grandmother playing with like, grandkids.